breaking news here on Sky News from the Bank of England that the interest rate by the bank has been cut by 0.25% to 4.75, the second fall in recent months, as you can see there. So, Gurpreet, sorry, as you were saying, that widely expected cut now been confirmed.
Yeah, no surprises there whatsoever, Gareth. We were widely expecting that cut, 0.25 percentage points, taking the base rate now to 4.75 percentage points, 4.75% rather. I think we just had a graph on the screen a second ago showing just how we got here, showing how the Bank of England has been ratcheting up interest rates since December 2021 to cope with that inflationary crisis that emerged post-lockdown. It was exacerbated by the war in Ukraine. It took interest rates to a peak of 5.25%. But we've really turned a corner on inflation. The Bank of England, as you may remember, started cutting interest rates. You can see there, started cutting interest rates back in August. It paused last month, but all the economic indicators this month were strongly suggesting that the bank would move again, not only because inflation fell below target and crucially fell below expectations to 1.7%, but also other underlying indicators that the bank looks really closely at, such as services inflation, as well as wage growth, but also slowing more than expected. In fact, Andrew Bailey, the Governor of the Bank of England, a couple of weeks ago, speaking in Washington, gave us a strong hint as to what he was thinking on this. He said that there was a good story to tell on inflation. He was a bit worried about services inflation still, but strongly suggesting that the inflationary story was a good one. We're getting some more details about that decision. It looks like we're thinking about kind of how the members of the MPC voted. There are 9 members on the committee. They all sort of reach a decision in the days leading up to the announcement. I'm thinking about how that vote was split. Well, one member voted for it to be unchanged, so to hold interest rates, and then the other 8 all voted to cut. So pretty strong consensus from members of the Monetary Policy Committee there. It'd be interesting to find out who that one member was, slightly more hawkish member who voted to hold interest rates, possibly Catherine Mann, who's one of the more hawkish members of the MPC. There was some speculation about how Hugh Pill might move on all of this, as well as Megan Green, but it looks like that they've also chosen to cut interest rates there. In recent sort of weeks, they've been hinting that they might be moving towards cutting interest rates as well. Paul Kelso, my colleague, is currently in the Bank of England. He'll be out shortly telling us what the bank had to say about crucial forecasts on inflation and growth, how much of that is going to bake in recent changes that were made, recent policy changes that were made in the budget. We know, Gareth, that there's sort of been, in recent days and in recent weeks, an increase in the inflationary forecast. It would be interesting to see what the bank had to say about that.
And Gurpreet, as we're just saying, and just to remind our viewers, we have heard in the last couple of minutes that the Bank of England has voted to cut the interest rate to 4.75%. That's a fall of 0.25% from that previous figure of 5. As Gurpreet was just saying there, the 9 members of the Monetary Policy Committee, 8 voted in favour of a cut, 1 voted in favour of keeping rates at the same level as they were. And Gurpreet, also hearing from the Bank of England as part of this announcement, that they say that the budget that Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, unveiled will boost economic growth by 0.75 of a percent points in a year's time compared with previous forecasts.
Yeah, so this is kind of one of the interesting things that's going to come out of the NPR report today, this sort of trade-off between growth and inflation. I think the bank sort of echoing some of the comments from the Office for Budget Responsibility, which published its forecast alongside the budget, saying that the big fiscal stimulus that we're getting from this budget, we know it's a big tax and spend budget. A lot of extra money is going to be flowing into the economy through government spending. That is going to boost growth over the coming years. It's something the OBR pointed out. It's something that the Bank of England here is echoing. But also, the Bank of England pointing out in its report that's just been released that it will also increase inflation by up to 0.5 percentage point over the next 2 years, also echoing something that the OBR pointed out last week.